There we go. Good morning, Retrothon. I hope everyone is doing well. Rayo here for my first of 5 games at Retrothon this year. It's amazing that I've also been doing this this is my 4th straight year doing Retrothon, so I'm excited to be back again. This time, bringing you something a little different. I believe either last year or I believe it was last year I brought Ease 1. I forget which event it was, but here I'm bringing you the 4th game, Ease Memories of Celceta. This is definitely going to be an interesting run. I'll talk about why it's interesting as we go along. So what the best thing to do is just get right into it. So let's go. So, Ease Memories of Celceta is the 4th game, technically the 3rd chronologically for Adol. As you see, we're skipping a lot of text. There's a fast forward feature in this game that helps skip a lot of the text, which definitely helps us. And you'll see later on, soon enough, the people who made the rules for the speedrun were nice for us old people, and they allowed turbo to be used for this. So we set it up and allows us to just roll. Just hold down the roll button and we just roll continuously until we stop. It's very nice. So what the game is now doing here is bringing us to pretty much the tutorial stage, teaching us on how to do all of the important stuff in the game. So first thing we do here, we're just gonna grab this memory, because like any good Ease games, Adol has amnesia, because that's how we roll. So he had done something for a while in this game that he just forgotten. These memories are going to help us learn what happened. So now we just met our companion for the entire game, Durin. He's pretty much our little helper to start the beginning part. He also plays a big part in a lot of the brokenness of this game. So the first 3 Ease games that came out and remastered, they're not super broken. They have some broken parts, but Celceta just takes it to another level. Okay, so I'm going to add my skill because the game's going to ask me for it later. So here we're just fighting some basic enemies. Pretty much just have to kill them. We're going to get our first actual like super skill that we are going to use. We don't really need it now, but we have to equip it in order to continue. And also with Celceta, I believe it's the first game to allow us to have a use of a different character not named Adol. So we are allowed to have 3 characters on at any time. Okay, kill our first little mini boss. Gotta wait a second for the screen to pop up. There we go. Okay, go back to Durin. We go to Durin because he's a little faster with rolling and moving. Okay, so now we're going to see the first instance of the brokenness of this game. In the game, you're supposed to try to find a key for this lock, but all we're going to do is just go to the door and play a memory, switch to Adol, and he just magically appears behind the gate. So we just switch to Adol and we skip the gate. No need for a key. Okay, then for safety we're gonna grab this. Not for safety. For reasons, we need to grab that Rhoda droplet, basically a heal all. Now we're on to our first boss of the game. Not too tough. When he smashes, just hold block. Do some flash guards. We're just gonna keep going until he gets stunned. Just keep on going until he's stunned. You can see the stun bar in the blue right underneath his health bar. Once that reaches all the way, he's stunned. You do extra damage, and he can't do a damn thing. Oh, he hit me. How dare you? Okay, now we're going to use our super, which is filled up by the big yellow bar that was down below, which does massive amounts of damage, and we're already done with the boss. So he's just going to explode. More text. Thankfully, the people at Falcon were very smart and gave us the ability to just skip it, because we're as speedrunners, we don't care about text. Wish they would do that for Ease Origins, but you know, here, not much we can do. And just like that, we are done with essentially the tutorial part of the game. We get to meet the mayor. She tells us, "You seem a rambunctious group. Why don't you chart the world for me?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Okay, just gotta go through some. Oh no, we have to talk. Look at the job board. Look at it long enough to get a cutscene. Okay, now we leave. Then it's gonna go through more tutorial stuff. We have to go to the armory and weaponry area. Say, okay, cool, whatever. Just ignore it. Now, what makes this game super broken is we are gonna skip a fair amount of this game, as you're gonna see in the next area. If I recall correctly, there are 18 bosses in this game, and you will see maybe 7 of them, but we fight only 6. We fight 5 bosses for 6 total bosses. We skip a lot of this game. Also, I like to call this game it's basically just the rolling simulator, where a good amount of this run is you just rolling. So, like, we will be skipping every enemy that we see along the way. And where am I going? I don't know. But that's my fault for actually paying attention to the world. When I run this game, it's odd for me, because I primarily in the open world, I don't look at my character or where I am. I look at the minimap in the upper right. It's easier for me to recognize where I need to go. So we're just going to keep on rolling. We're rolling to get to a bridge that is supposed to only be accessible from the other side. But, you know, again, this game is broken, and I'll show you shortly how broken it really is. So those monuments you see are basically warp points that are very important in the casual. Allows you to warp fairly easily around the world, but we only need a specific few of them open. Okay, we can keep on rolling, go past the angry gorillas. They're gonna punch us or try to throw rocks at us. We say whatever, and we just keep going. It's gonna be a bunch of rolling for a while. That blue thing is a memory on the map. We don't care about that. It's useful to learn the lore of the story. It's funny, I've been running this so long, it's been so long since I've done the casual playthrough, I don't remember most of this story, because we skip a lot. Okay, on to the first skip, where I'm probably going to be doing a lot of safety saves, because this skip can be first try, or I'm loading up a save a lot. So it's a fairly interesting skip, where we are going to throw ourselves out of bounds. Well, first we're going to die. And what happens is that I'm going to die at a lower Y plane than where Duran's going to end up. So I'm going to die in the water. When I die, I'm going to float to the bottom, or a little lower than where I need to go. Okay, I forgot to put a safety save, but I do have a safety save ready. So I'm going to go above, higher than where I am. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch parties to Dead Adol. I'm going to revive him. He's going to revive just below the plane of where I can stand. I'm going to drop to the ground. Shit, Yep, I screwed up, so what we are going to do, so then to make a save, I have a safety save here. We'll just do that. My levels are all going to be the same, so it's not a big deal. So, he'll die. Yeah, you keep falling until you move. So you gotta fall far enough down. Okay, so I'm going to put a save here. Okay, save. I should be good. We'll see. Let's see, did I get it? First try, let's go. So we skipped an entire bridge and having to go wrap around to the next town. So that saves us a fair amount of time, like 20-30 minutes. So we're going to be entering our the next part of the town from the wrong side, casually. This is supposed to be the exit. So that's actually a very tough skip to get. But I figured a couple of visual cues to get here. Okay. First, we need to go to the top of the town and get this memory. This will unlock a new memory that'll move us along. We're now back in the town, but we are now in the past. So we need to talk to a few members of the town to... few members of the town in order to progress the story. Okay, now we need to talk to the people at the very top where the memory was located. Okay, this will cut everything through. Progress the story. Now we're back into the present. Yeah, I'm getting stuck. A couple more cutscenes. The chief injures himself. So it's really just a game. This is really just a game of go to specific spots and talk to people to get cutscenes. Okay, now we're gonna get our final character of the game. I mean, she serves one main purpose, but it's very important. Okay, let's go. Let's change back to Durin. It's a little faster. Okay, our town adventures are now done. Okay. So pretty soon we're going to get to our second boss. I think we've already skipped like 3 or 4 bosses. Okay, but first they make a little detour. Ah, of course, enemies are too close to the chest. I need this chest. There we go. Another droplet, which is basically a revive. We'll need it for another minor death warp that's coming up. Also, we're just going to appreciate the gems for a while. Oh no, I'm sorry, I misquoted. We are going to get at least 2 more characters. I'm a dummy. I always figure out the other 2 characters. Because you're with these 2 for a majority of the game. We're getting 1 only because she's important for 1 specific area. And another because she's OG for 2 bosses later on. Just gonna listen to the jams for a bit. The jams in these remakes are just fantastic. I'd listen to all of these OSTs almost non-stop for like a full year. Here, we're gonna skip that door. Or that entrance. We'll be back though. First, we need to get a specific item in the upcoming cave. Oh. Small little cutscene. Violet Tempest, let's get all 4 enemies poisoned. Okay, could you 2 like help me out here, people? I like how they're fighting the other guy. You can't help me. Okay, there we go. They're not a hard fight, so I don't really worry about it. Uneasy, these fights are pretty free. Okay, first thing, we need to talk to... Well, no, first we need to inspect this. Now, her big thing in this game is that she's able to cut those down, which proves useful in this dungeon and then one dungeon a little later. Like I said, a lot of these other characters are specifically used, but Durin and Adol are the true heroes of this game. Okay, into the cave of spiders, because, you know, there's always got to be spiders. Everyone hates spiders. Also, I should be Durin. Go a little faster. So again, just rolling. Boy, I bet his ass is swollen. Okay, good. Got it before the enemy got too close. So we're gonna cut down these two. Yeah, so the big thing why this game is broken is the fact, not only the fact that you can skip doors, you can skip bosses that you'll see soon enough, and you get to skip a lot of barriers that don't allow you to cross, doing a little trick of moving your character slightly inches closer by using the memory and party switch trick. Okay, first we're going to drop these two waters. Do not drop that third one. It's a trap. So we're going to leave that be. That was really bad of me. Okay, so now we're heading to the second boss. I'm going to do a safety save. And I screwed up. So we're going to load it back up. That is the first time I've screwed up in a long time. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to play a memory and switch the party. Play memory. And we're going to keep repeating these two things over and over until we see the boss. Now, what the game is doing is pushing me forward a little bit every time I switch parties. Until... It's going to keep playing this until I get past the boss barrier, as you would call it. We know we're past it once we do not see the boss coming in any longer in the animation. See, no boss, so we're gonna leave. And I dashed in. Wow! I dashed into the barrier. Great job on my part. I hit dash by accident. Yeah, so if you walk back into the barrier, the boss will come in. For some reason, my finger twitched and hit dash. So we'll have to do it again. We're going to lose a little bit of time here, but it's only about a minute. What nerves? Oh my god. Why am I screwing this up? Okay, third time's a charm. Okay, we're gonna go a little slower because apparently, for some reason, nerves are getting to me, which shouldn't be, but... And this isn't even the hardest skip in the game. I know in one category you do the block buffer trick. Okay, there we go. Third time's a charm. There we got the dwarf bracelet. Okay, our first sub-item of the game, the dwarf bracelet does exactly that. It turns you very, very, very small. No, it's items, dwarf bracelet. Yeah, I made that look more difficult than it really needed to be. It's tough. I got it in the first try. I just hit dash instead of moving first. Oh. So once we're out of the small cavern, we can remove the bracelet. And now we just have to return back to that door we had skipped earlier. So we just leave this cave. The game expects you to go through all of these small areas to get some items, and it makes you think it's quicker, but it's really not. You go to the first section and... Oh, I got trapped. I'm trapped. There we go. Okay, back on Ginota Crater. Yeah, so that trick we have to do either 1 or 2 more times, depending on how things happen. Because there is a way, because how we have to do. Oh no, sorry, that one we do 1 more time. There's another trick that you're gonna see that's extremely interesting. Okay, first we're gonna do something. So as you see, we're getting text here telling us that we can't go forward. If we do exactly what we just did. Yes, but yeah, this is easy mode. I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, it has 4 different modes. So you can see how it stopped me and it's having text show up. So just like before, we are going to memory and switch until we do not see the text box block happen anymore. There we go. Now we're into Misty Peak. We skipped the way. Yeah, T400. This is Ease Memories of Celceta. And now we're into Misty Peak. Pretty much the labyrinth of the area. So there's a specific direction you have to go. So we're going to go bottom right. Then we're going to go bottom left. Then bottom left. And then follow the upper right. And we are out. Misty Peak, fairly simple. Okay, so those branches are basically save point, or not save points, but they're tents that allow you to save. But we're gonna skip that one, and just like we did 2 minutes ago, we are technically blocked from going until we make that tent. But there is a specific reason why we do not want to make this specific tent. We do not want to have happen. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. So when you make that tent, it triggers a section of the game to happen that causes you to have to go through a side part of the game in a town up ahead. There's the text. But we do not want to do the town because that takes a lot of extra time that we just don't have time for. What? Oh, I'm in the wrong section. This is a tough one to get. Okay, there's the text. Okay, now I gotta pay attention. Okay, there's the text again. Once the text stops, we're gonna swap. We're gonna swap around. Keep going. Once that text box finishes, we're... Wait, why did I get moved? Oh, okay, never mind. What if we don't really pay attention? Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got through. Okay, now the river basin. So, up ahead we'll be doing our second little death warp. Be using that little revive we got earlier. Skips, again, it skips a major part of the game because usually you're supposed to go into this town and do a side mission that will eventually allow you to go into the next cave coming up. Okay, so you can be anyone, but I like to choose Adol. Safety save. Because we need to bring this guy into the water. Okay, so we need to turn onto the bracelet on. And let's take the bracelet off. You know what? We're going to go as you. Go to this corner. Again, we're going to switch Adult to the front. Give him the Retrothon droplet. And he magically appears behind the in the water behind the world. And we need to end up right next to the door. Okay, let's see if I can get it right the first time. Got it. Nice. So we just skipped the locked door. And also we get an automatic free health refill. So, who needs to do the main part of the story? Not even side missions. Side stories are pointless. Okay, now for the next trick, where we're going to use the fact that when you roll into water, you go down a tiny bit. So we're going to try to skip this water section. Okay, I screwed up the first time. So what we're going to do is a little backup, dwarf it, then do a memory. There we go. So what happens with a memory is that when you're in water, the memory will play, and the game will think that you still have it. You just got in the water, so it drops you down in the water just a bit. But with the bracelet on, being smaller, it allows you to underpass the little barrier there. So we just skip right through. Yeah, the trick isn't hard. I just messed it up, which isn't a big deal. I can usually get it first try. But again, that skips the entirety of this dungeon. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, JP, I find that trick easy. I just messed it up. And just like that, this dungeon is actually done. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Just got to go through a few more rooms and skip yet another boss. Because bosses are for chumps. We don't need to fight bosses in this game. Big scary monster, we're just going to skip them. Again, in this game, Adol is pretty pacifist. He doesn't like to kill much in this game. Again, I think in the entirety of the game, Adol might kill like less than 20 things. Most of them being bosses. Okay, did not want to grab that. Okay, so save. Pretty much. Adol is just the Karen of the E series. He's skipping everyone to go to the manager. Okay, so just like the B fight, we're going to do the same thing with this boss. We're going to be swapping parties, playing a memory, and we're going to keep going until we no longer see the boss, and we've just officially killed the boss. And just like that, we're already out of the cave. Man. For an adventurer, he doesn't have to do a lot of fighting, I'll say. Okay, so now we're pretty much... I like to consider Plateau Path the halfway mark of the game. But now this is where things get a little more hairy with the tricks. Because we are going to be coming up to what I believe might be the hardest part of this game. I like to call it the Final Fantasy X game. Because I don't know if we can see it yet, but there's a massive thunderstorm happening in the world ahead of us. You'll see it soon enough. Oh, you hit me. How dare you? You sniped me. Yeah, that giant storm causes a lot of lightning, and the lightning in this game is insta kill. Oh yeah, welcome town, bye town. We'll see that town one more time for one fight, and then we're done. Okay, now on to the hardest trick in the game. JP would confirm with me that this is probably the hardest part of the game. Okay, we're just climbing up the mountain. We're going to be meeting our fourth character, who has the ability to... Her only use is that she can use her staff to raise these machines that can deter the lightning. Well, attract the lightning, I should say. Okay, on to the lightning part. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it first try right here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh no, I'm dead. Yeah, you have to intentionally die. She comes up, goes, "Oh, hello. I have powers. Bring me." Yeah, so like I said, her big power is the fact that she can go to these big machines and turn them on. The Sanctuary of Storms. Now, you can do this entire section without ever raising one of these. It's hard enough to do it when you have to do it here. I will be skipping one of these. You can effectively skip the one you can see above in the background, because the game will check to... I don't know what the game does, but... Okay, waiting for the lightning sound. So that one automatically opens up if you don't open up the other one. So it's a little time save to not even bother getting that third one, the third one in the first room, because you get the first one automatically in this room. But we have to open up the rest of these. So this trick is gonna go... This skip will go well or very poor. There's no in between, like you get maybe second try. Because what we're going to have to do now is that once we're at the actual sanctuary, we're not going in the sanctuary. We're going to skip it. Like any good speedrunner will do. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to start diving, and then after every second roll, I'm going to pause for a very small amount of time. Wait for the lightning strike. Yeah, I was pressing the wrong button. Now, let's go as Durin. Luckily, dying does not matter. You end up right back here. Ah, I was off. Damn it! Yeah, this will take a few tries. I'm out of practice on this. Got it. Let's go. Third try. Not too bad. Yeah, so you're supposed to do the Sanctuary and fight like 2 or 3 bosses, and we go, yeah, okay, never mind. Lightning doesn't scare us. We're just going to skip it. Okay, now on to us to find to the final town of the game that we're going to visit for the first time. We're going to meet what I like to think is the OG character of the game. She can pretty much destroy the next few bosses that we're going to fight. First, we're just going to keep on rolling to it. See, I wasn't lying when I said that this game is essentially just a rolling simulator. Okay, another little tree spout. Here we got to set up a tent. Yeah, so like I said earlier, all your memories are just what happened before you lost all of your memories. It also just tells you a little bit of the story. Which again, like I said, it's been so long, I forget what the story is. And keep on rolling. We're just going to keep on going until we get to the town, which we'll be fighting technically our second boss. Yes, our second boss of the game. We're like 60% through the actual game, and we're fighting our second boss. Nope, get this. Get that. You need that checkpoint first. Very important. It makes travel a little quicker after this coming section. Alrighty. The town, the city in underground. You find out this is where Durin is from. But again, we don't care about the story. We just care about going to see the manager of Celceta. Okay, go through some cutscenes here. And then we are off to fight the second boss, Sol Golba. Okay, so what we're going to do is just switch to Frida, and then we are going to... Which one is it? Demonic Edge. And we're just going to work with that. Good thing about having turbo for being allowed to use turbo, it makes guarding a lot easier. Okay, use Frozen Prison. This is going to pretty much destroy him. Look at that, one hit away. Let's go. Okay, that was a pretty average fight, but again, Frida is way too powerful in this game on easy mode. Okay, we actually meet the boss of the actual villain of the game. Steals the mask, and we just go bye-bye. No, he goes bye-bye. Effectively, the end game of this game is that you're pretty much playing Lord of the Rings. You got to take that mask and throw it into the volcano. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we're going to leave town and transfer back to the warp point that I got earlier. Go to Ashen Forest. Now her big thing is, other than the fact that she's like OG in terms of killing bosses, she is very effective in this section. She is needed for this section here. Because she needs to freeze and seal these little poison sections here. Okay, we got some tapeworms, dune worms, whatever you want to consider them. Just ignore them. Up and around, up and around. There we go. Again, just constantly rolling and skipping everything in this game. Okay, there we go. Turn one that off, turns the other one on. Luckily, we don't have to carry that left side. We're just going to skip it. Okay, so first we're going to make a small little detour here, and we are going to grab yet another little warp point. This just makes it so when we get a certain item, we can just warp back here. Sadly, this one we got to set up the tent. Again. More story. Change to Durin. Okay, we're coming here just to get that, and we're leaving. Now we're going to backtrack a little bit. Now, on to the hardest puzzle in all of gaming. This puzzle is... I could almost come close to saying literally almost impossible. Like, it puts my knowledge of puzzles of Lolo to shame. It's like, how did anyone ever figure this puzzle out at when they were a kid, or even a young adult, or even today? So, okay, make sure we get that checkpoint. That checkpoint's important. Go to Frida, since her attack is basically wrecks everything, because she actually has powered up items. Okay, kill those two. Okay, now, let's see if we can get this puzzle. Okay, stay calm. You got this. Good, we got it. We got it. Nice. Let's go. Yeah. Literally, it's three items. It's 4 items. You got to put 3 on to actually get the door to open. That's how hard it is. Okay, so this will take some time, but I'm going to talk about a small trick in this game. That when you enter a boss battle and you die, the game still has that flag still open, saying that you're still in a boss. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to intentionally die. Oh, I'm like, where am I? I'm stuck. I'm inside the body. So I'm trying to intentionally die here. There we go. And then now I want to go back. I want to go back to town. Now, like how I mentioned where the boss flag stays on, well, now you're in a boss here that you're not supposed to get to until later in the game. So we've loaded it in a boss that happens much, much later in the game. And we're done with that fight. Effectively, we do this fight early on, so we get the... what's the name? I think it's the Golden Warp. The Golden Wing. Gotta go through some cutscenes. The mayor comes in. More cutscenes. Golden Wing. So what the Golden Wing does is it allows us to warp to any of these areas that we've already clicked on. Because you're not supposed to get that till much later in the game, but now we can travel anywhere along the world. So what you just saw of me secrets breaking the bosses will happen once again later on. Because it'll allow us to skip to pretty much the last 2 endgame. The last 2 big bosses of the game. Okay, now we're back at the frogs. Now we have to kill them. The only thing that matters in this is killing the big frog. The other 4 small ones will constantly reappear. And since we're so low powered that we're going to constantly keep getting skills here, which is not a big deal. He's not hard, he just doesn't take as much damage as we'd like. But, okay, we get plenty of energy to do some supers. And he's almost... Okay, he's dead. Yeah, it's funny because people don't know JP runs the actual any percent. This is one of the more weirder any percents where you are restricted in a lot of things. So I think this might be the first time he's actually seeing this run. Okay, so we got an item that we need in order to progress into the Forest of Spores. We will have to equip it. The claws allow us to damage these white little spores, I guess. So, you can technically say goodbye to the rolling because we are no longer rolling anymore. We're just dashing. And I guess those white spores you can call snow. We're dashing through the snow. Hey, Christmas reference. Let's go. Okay, so there is a trick coming up with the next boss that I'm going to try. I've only done it once in a practice run. So let's see if we can get it. If I don't get it, I'm going to do my old route. So the Munstrum boss. So what we need to do here is we actually do need to kill his first... Oh no, sorry, you don't have to kill him. We have to get to his second form. That's required. Then I need to be standing in a specific spot. Also, why am I not using my super? And he just walked away. I don't think I've ever seen him walk away like that. That was interesting. That's all I'm going to say, but... You know, I lost a lot of time on... You know what, I'm going to try it. Screw it. We're doing this for fun. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can get the skip. See if I can remember where to stand. That's the problem. Where is it? It's right here. No, but he needs to be... Wait. Come on. Come to the... I think it's right here. I can't see because he's not on the right side. Oh, no, I saw it. It's over there. You know what? I can't remember the spot. I'm just going to kill him normally. Which means we're going to have to do a B-skip twice. Yeah, I think it's right there. Okay, I have to... Ooh. I might actually just die anyway. This isn't good. Come on. Okay, whatever. We'll go my old route. He wasn't playing nice and I couldn't see my visual cue, so it's not a big deal that I killed him. Because when you finish, a door opens up. But for some reason I just couldn't see it. But not a big deal. Okay, we're at the ruins. We've only got a few more places to go, and then we are done. But first, before we do anything else, we need to get another war point. This war point is very useful for the end game. Just so we don't have to travel all the way here. So we open that up. Okay, now we're going to see another interesting trick. It's the last... No, second to last new trick that we'll see. Because I didn't get to show the other one. Here, we're going to jump over a invisible barrier to skip a few things. So what we're going to do here with this guy right here, we're going to wait for him to hope he does a laser. We don't want him to do the ground attack. We want him to do a laser. And then we're going to dash, which will put us behind him. And we're through. So you do the flash guard trick in order to rise up into the air, and then dash forward to get momentum to end up behind him. But you don't want to go too far. There is technically a death area there where you can just fall right through. Where is he? There's Durin. And then once you're through, you just walk back to him. You find the trigger, and you just enter through. Yeah, the launch in this is similar to 7, except this launch is much, much easier. Okay, onto the ancient dungeon, where we learn a lot more of the lore that we yet again ignore. We're just dashing our way. We just have to grab one item in this dungeon before we just leave. It's an item that we're going to need for Adol to actually beat this game. The only item we're going to be picking up is just a +9 sword. And the hardest part about it is that there are 4 enemies in that room, and you need them to be far enough away from the chest in order to get. Which I never have that luck. Okay, so that item is right down here. And they're too far. So I need them to move out of the goddamn way. There we go. Okay, we got it. Like I said, if an enemy is too close to the chest, you can't open it. Okay, let's just get out of this room first. Let's equip Adol with it. And since we've got this dash, it doesn't matter who we are, we all dash the same speed. Okay, we're gonna need to open this little entryway. For I believe the final time we are using the dwarf bracelet. Then once we're out of here, we just gotta do items. Just need to do one more wall trick. Oh, wrong way. I always do that. So we have one more of that wall trick that I just did to get in here. We now need to use it again to get out. But this one's a little tougher because we now have 4 enemies being pain in the butts to us. Got it. Nice. First try, let's go. Okay. Now, if I had done the Monstrum skip earlier, I wouldn't have to do what I'm doing now. So I'm going to need to warp to, where is it? Mid. Because like I said earlier, let's do a save. When you enter a boss room and then leave a boss door, it saves that flag that you're in a boss. Come on. Should have it. Got it. Okay. We skipped the boss. Now, like I said, the boss flag is still in existence in the game, so this area now brings us to a boss. You're not supposed to be able to fight this boss right now. Okay, we got to take out his legs first. Then we need to kill his hands. Because his weak point in this game, in this version of the fight, is his head. Use Soul Breaker, get his health down. We want his health to at least be under half, if possible. Not bad. Okay, so this, as long as I don't screw anything up, this should be a two cycle fight. Oh, I didn't get his little foot because he decided to be a dingbat. There we go. Okay, his legs are gone. Let's get his arms. Now he should be dead once in this cycle. And there we go. Okay, now the worst part is I have to go back and do that B flag, that B skip again. Because doing it now will bring us right to the end game. So let's warp back to Ancient Burrow Mid. One more safety save, even though it doesn't matter. Okay, again, we want him to do that little rising attack with his stinger. Come on. Okay, a couple steps forward, backwards, should put us back past the line, and there we go. And now to the ruined city of Elduke. And getting that flag immediately breaks this entire section. Brings us right to the end game. Because we just warped right to the castle. Or temple, whatever it is. Okay. God, I love winning. Okay, there we go. Done with that fight. Now it brings us directly to the end game. Go through these cutscenes. All of our people that we saved along the way is coming by and saving us. Now on to the final boss. Just gotta climb this little mountain. So what's interesting about this fight, I don't know if it's only just for easy mode, but in easy mode, the final boss is kind of free due to the help you get. Because there is, I forget her name. There's a woman who comes by and helps us that constantly heals us. Which makes the boss super free. The big thing we do have to pay attention to is that one of his attacks does cause us to rise due to the flash guard. And if we move too far while fighting him, we can go out of bounds and die. Okay, now Phantom Gruda. That move right there. There we go. Just, again, just dash him when you can try to predict his moves. Come on. He also likes to move around a lot, so he gets kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, he's halfway done, which means he's going to start doing a super move right there. Let's just get out of the way. There we go. Okay, there we go. We're just going to keep attacking. And let's do Soul Breaker. It should finish. It should come close to finishing him off. Almost. And he's dead. Just like that. Okay. Now once Phantom Groot is dead, now we need to Lord of the Rings this and drop that mask into the volcano. And go through some cutscenes. Now, time is actually when you get the notification that Adol has finally become an adventurer. Yeah, so basically, you don't become an adventurer, and also that's time. The time in this game comes really quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, once the cutscene ends, that's time, and that's Ys Memories of Celceta. A very interesting game and speedrun, to say none the least, just for the fact that... We'll go back to the good music. It's one of the few games where you don't really fight that much. It's really that broken of a game. It's still a long game for this category, but it's the fact that you maybe kill 10 to 20 enemies throughout the entire game. The big show-off is just all the weird skips that you can break through the invisible walls. But anywho, since I just made estimate. I had 1 hour estimate. It's not bad considering I didn't get much practice and we had a lot of mistakes early on. But anywho, I'm gonna let myself go to get the other runs going, and I hope everyone has fun watching the rest of today's Retrothon, as well as the rest of the week. But I'll be back tomorrow night for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Radical Rescue on the Game Boy. So until then, take care, everyone.